What's up, everybody? Oh my goodness. I hit the button before I was ready to even go. Another morning, first of the morning recording. Not really first of the morning. Um, More problems with T Mobile. Bad internet. It goes from 300 megabits per second down to 3 and back up to 300, and it's just a mess. It's absolute garbage. It's the only internet I can get here. It's like there's so many problems with this tiny fucking shithole that ugh, it's just a nightmare. This fucking place has turned into such a fucking toxic nightmare. I hate every fucking second I sit in this fucking place now. Um, and I'm trying to leave at the end of the month, so I don't even think I can. Like there's no other internet option for me. I just have to suffer at the whims of these gaslighting cocksuckers because all they do is I've got some manager now reaching out to me because this is so fucked up, but the only way that you can have a conversation with them about your shitty service is to go through Twitter. Twitter, you cannot get a hold. If you call them on the phone, you get some dingbat from India that can't do anything. They had an online chat option. I used it one time and then it disappeared. It's no longer, like, I can't find it anywhere. It's gone. So you can't chat with them online because at least if you chat with somebody online, you can read the bad English instead of having to translate it and not being able to understand it when they're speaking it over the phone. But if you go to Twitter, for some reason, and this is like a well-known thing with T-Mobile, if you go to Twitter, they have a different support team that the way you do it, the first time you do it, you reach out to you comment on one of their public posts about how they're a horrible company and you're having bad service and all this and that. Then somebody from this thing called T-Force will message you through a private message on Twitter, and then they'll go back and forth, and they even have this like validation thing where you log into your T-Mobile account and it checks to see if your X account is the same person that associated with the account that you're complaining about. So like their whole entire system for customer support revolves around you bitching at them on Twitter instead of having a direct access to them. Like that blows my mind. That is so fucking outrageously nonsensical. I can't even wrap my head around it. But if you have a problem and you're a T-Mobile customer, bitch at them on Twitter, you'll get an American, and it'll be an American. They've called me on the phone and they speak perfect English. It's the team is in America, and but they still won't help you. So now I've got some upper manager supposedly sending me messages on Twitter. And I just told the dude, I'm like, stop fucking gaslighting me. I didn't even say the F word. I said, stop gaslighting us. Your network can't handle the traffic that you've oversold it. Because it's the same thing every time. Did you try unplugging the box and plugging it back in? Did you put it near a window? And like they just give you the same 5 or 6 things to do over and over again, and it never works. Nothing ever works. Because their network is bad. Their network, at least where I live, their network can't handle the traffic that the network is getting. So at different times of the day, your speed will go from 300 megabits per second, which is what you're paying for, and it'll drop down to less than 1 megabit per second. And then a few hours later, it goes back up, and then it comes back down, and then it goes back up. But it just, at random points throughout the day, you'll be working, trying to do something, and all of a sudden your internet is just dead in the water, to the point where you can't even check your Gmail account. You can't do anything. It's completely if it was completely disconnected, the box, the router has a screen on it, and it would tell you that there's a connection issue. It's not connected. It would say that right on the screen. But instead, it shows up as being connected, but the speed it's so obnoxiously slow. Like I said, I'm going to do a complete review because T-Mobile, I mean, this experience is the most absurd, nonsensical bullshit I've ever seen. But I can't recommend going to another company when it comes to mobile phones and mobile phone companies. I can't recommend any of them. They're all fucking garbage. Verizon, T-Mobile, and the other AT&T, they all suck. They all suck. Everybody who deals with them, and that's why they suck, because they know the competitors suck. I've literally worked for companies as a software designer where their software was outdated, massive pile of trash. I mean, just the most incredible piece of shit you could possibly imagine. I can't even understand how it was a payment processing company, and I couldn't understand how people would actually sign up for this trash when you could go someplace and like sign up for Square or a modern app that actually works. And I think it had to do with the pricing. I think it had to do with when you sign up with a credit card processing company as a business, they take a cut of your transactions. Usually, it's somewhere around 3%. So when you pay with a credit card, wherever you pay with a credit card, the credit card company is taking 3% of that transaction. And they've passed laws that say stores, restaurants, businesses cannot upcharge for using a credit. They can't upcharge you. But some businesses used to put a 5% increase in the price if you pay with a credit card, or a discount for paying with cash. That's illegal now. Guess who lobbied to make that illegal? Take a wild guess on who lobbied Congress and bribed all the congressmen to make that illegal. But as a business, if your customer pays with a credit card, you can throw 3% of that transaction in the trash. So basically what you have to do as a business is adjust your prices as if everybody pays with a credit card, and just understand that the 3% loss is a cost of doing business, and you're still going to pass it to the customer. In some cases, like, a restaurant, that's not a huge chunk, but over a large quantity of transactions, that's a huge amount of money. But if you're buying something that's, if you're selling something that costs $5,000, every time somebody swipes that card, you're basically, it's $3 for every $100, right? So $30 for every 1,000 times 5, that's $150 that you got to pay just to take someone's money. Or if you're doing a high volume, it adds up to about the same thing, right? So if a company comes at you and says, we'll take 2.5% instead of 3, if you're a high volume customer, that's a significant amount of money to leave on the table. So I believe that's why they would get customers as many as they did, and built a portfolio running on the software that people would have to log into to check their accounts and all that crap. It was amazingly bad. And we had a team to fix that. We had a team of expert programmers. I was the lead designer. And we had the engineers on staff to revamp the whole thing, and we decided that's what we were going to do. And then they turned around and pulled the plug on it and said, we don't need to do that. Fuck that. Why? And the reason being is all of our competitors suck. So we don't have to be any better than them. Why would we waste all of our time and spend all of this time, energy, and resources building the best-in-class product when everybody else sucks? We can make just as much money with this piece of trash as we will with a nice product, a good product that actually works. And as a business standpoint, when you understood that their goal was to sell the company to another company, and when the other company bought that company, they threw that software package in the trash. They just wanted the portfolio of merchants to absorb into their own, and they just migrated those merchants into other platforms. So, but that's why these cell phone companies, that's why the three cell phone companies are so incredibly awful, because it's not a monopoly, but it's like a triumvirate. It's the same thing that you had when they killed Julius Caesar, and you had three emperors of Rome that were sharing the power. All three of them fucking sucked. They were all a bunch of child molesting, gay orgy having, tyrannical douchebags. They were all the same. It didn't fucking matter whether it was Mark Anthony or Augustus, whatever. They were all the fucking same. It didn't matter which one you had to talk to. They were just a bunch of cocksuckers. And then they all started fighting with each other, and one of them eventually took over, but it didn't matter because they all suck. It's the same with the cell phone companies. If you want a cell phone, you got to go to one of those three companies. And any of you that go start talking about, well, you can go to Walmart and you can get Straight Talk, or you can get Cricket, or any of these other, no, those are all just brand names for poor people that run on AT&T, Verizon, or T-Mobile. They used to have four companies. Sprint was the fourth company, merged with T-Mobile, became T-Mobile. So now you got three. Because T-Mobile was the underdog. They bought Sprint because Sprint was the worst of the three big ones and the most ghetto of all. And so they merged and created a third place competitor with the other two. And I don't know which one's number one and number two and three anymore. I don't give a shit. They all suck. They all suck. And they know, like T-Mobile knows, if you quit T-Mobile and you go to Verizon, Verizon's going to suck just as hard as T-Mobile does. They know if you go to AT&T, AT&T's going to suck. In some cases, when I lived out in Amish country, I had to go with AT&T. I didn't have a choice. Sprint at the time, I had Sprint at the time, which became T-Mobile, so it was the same network. And when I would be inside my house, I got zero signal. Sprint kept gaslighting me. That's what they do. They gaslight you. They know that their network, they know that the problem is them, but they try to make you feel like the problem is you when you have a problem. Well, did you unplug it? Did you turn your phone off and turn it back on? Did you do this? Did you do that? Yes, you fucking scumbags. I did all of it. It's your fucking problem. So anyway, out where I lived, out in the middle of nowhere, if you had a T-Mobile or a Sprint phone, you were fucked. You couldn't get a signal at all. You couldn't even send a text message to and from. Verizon, same thing. Verizon was slightly better, but like you'd have to go outside to send and receive text messages. AT&T worked. Crystal clear signal, 5 bars. Full strength. I was amazed, but the landlords and other people in the area told me when I first moved there, I said, I'm not getting a good cell phone signal. They're like, oh, you got to go with AT&T out here. And so I finally did. Within 3 weeks of living out there, I went to AT&T and got a phone. I came home. I was like, whoa! It was like a better signal strength and a better speed than I ever got with the other phone. But AT&T screwed me over more than once. I'll tell you one story. I will never buy a cell phone online ever again. Now, some people don't have problems with that, and I'm sure it had to do more with the phone that I bought than anything else. I bought So I used to buy these rugged cell phones. They had the Galaxy Active series, where these super rugged phones, you could throw it against the wall and nothing would happen to it. And with all the rugged activity that I do out in the wilderness and the woods, I loved those phones. I had two of them. Well, of course they did. They discontinued the rugged phones. Why? Because they want you to buy a fucking phone every 3 months. They want your phone to break. That's why they make them like 2 millimeters wide now, because they know the first time you drop it, not only is the screen going to shatter, the phone's going to break in half or bend because it's so skinny. Forget keeping the phones a little bit thicker and doubling the battery life. We're just going to keep making the phones so thin that it's like holding a sheet of paper in your hand. And they got rid of, like, they're not durable at all anymore. You have to buy $100 case to protect your phone. Well, these rugged series that they had, they didn't even make protective cases for them. I could never find one, because I would have wrapped them in a protective case to get like double protection, a phone that will never ever ever break. But I could never find one, so I would just use these Galaxy rugged phones, and I'm telling you, man, they would not break. They went through everything you could imagine, and they wouldn't die. That's why they discontinued them, because they want you. It's planned obsolescence. So they came out with this phone. I forget the brand. It was an Android phone. I think it was Samsung. I'm not sure, but there was a phone that came out, ultra, ultra, ultra rugged phone for like first responders and people who need phones out in like the wilderness. And it had this super rugged case, and it had a replaceable battery. So my plan was to get like 4 batteries for this thing and have a super rugged phone again. And the specs said that, it was fast and it had good reviews and everything. And it had all these features that were kind of neat. And I don't remember the name of the phone. So I ordered it, and they sent it to me, and right out of the box, the touch screen was trash. I mean, trash. Like, the touch screen just didn't work. You'd put your finger on it and click on an icon, touch an icon, it wouldn't open. I even had to download an app to test the touch screen. Like, there was an app that would just draw a line on the screen as you move your finger, and the line was all broken, and you couldn't draw a continuous line with your finger across the screen without the line being completely broken and disjointed. And like, you couldn't drag anything with your finger across the screen without it letting go. And like, so the touch screen was it was trash. It didn't work at all. Like, you couldn't even type a message on the phone because the touch screen wouldn't register the touches for the keyboard. So like, you might have to hit the letter M like 6 times before it would finally type the letter M. I mean, it's completely unusable. So I sent it back. I sent it back within 24 hours. And then AT&T sat there 3 months. I had to use my old phone I had to put the SIM card back in my old phone and use my old phone for 3 months. AT&T kept saying I never sent the phone back. They tried charging me for it. They went through this I had the tracking number and everything. I had the tracking number from sending it back. FedEx showed that it was returned and received at the AT&T warehouse. And every single time I would get on customer support, they would gaslight me and say, well, we don't have the phone back. We don't have any information about it. I'm like, here's the tracking number. Here's the link to FedEx saying it was returned. They're like, well, we don't show that in our record. We don't know where the phone. Then they like told me that the phone got lost in the warehouse and they don't know where it is and they can't credit my account until they get it back. And I couldn't order a new phone this whole time. So finally, after 2 months of being gaslit by these motherfuckers, I did the Better Business Bureau, BBB. I should have done that within a week of this problem. But I was just, my old phone still worked. It wasn't like an emergency situation kind of a thing, but I was getting really upset with them. And I told them I'm not going to pay the bill and I'm going to can't. I kept threatening to cancel my service, but I couldn't because there's no other service where I lived. So I had to bluff on that. But they don't care. They don't. You can say I'm going to quit, I'm going to cancel my service. Okay, bye. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck at all about that. Not at all. Zero fucks. So, because they know. They know that the other companies suck. These companies make so much money that they don't give a fuck. It's like a restaurant. Like, have you ever been to a restaurant that doesn't give a fuck about you? Like, if something went wrong with your food, they're like, oh, well, fuck you. I'm sure you have. It happens. There are restaurants like that. And some of these restaurants will never go out of business because there's just enough dumb motherfuckers that eat there that they can treat you like shit and they don't give a fuck if you say you're never coming back. They'll just be like, okay, fine. There are places like that I've been that I've never been back to ever, and they're still in business. And I'm like, how do they do it? I don't know. Maybe I was one of the, maybe I don't know. But these phone companies, that's how they treat you. And so, Better Business Bureau, that's a tip. I'm telling you, if I've ever gotten to the point where I have to go to the Better Business Bureau and file a complaint, they actually respond. I've had more than one company respond and fix my problem because I did that. It works. It actually works because companies hate to be publicly shamed. They don't give a fuck about you when you're on the phone one-on-one. But like I said, with T-Mobile, go to Twitter and complain on one of their public posts about what a pile of trash they are. You'll get a message faster from them on Twitter than you will any other way. You'll get a response quicker from them on Twitter than any other method. As soon as you call them out publicly and tarnish their reputation, when they're trying to sell to people, all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, we're so sorry. What can we do to help you? And so in my AT&T situation on the Better Business Bureau, I had a vice president. How many vice presidents do they have at AT&T? Probably 6,000. But a vice president of something or other called me and left me a message, told me to call her back. I called her back, direct line. She was apologetic and everything. She looked into my case and she goes, yeah, I can see that your phone was returned. She's like, here, let me fix this for you. She gave me, like, she wiped, so I hadn't paid for like a month. I wasn't paying my account anymore. She goes, I'm going to wipe out your account balance that you owe us and give you credit for that, for all the hassle you've been through. She goes, I can see that you returned the phone, so I'm going to take that off your account, credit your phone with being returned. I'm giving you a discount on a new phone. And like, she gave me a bunch of stuff. Like, she was actually really friendly and helped me. And she apologized up and down and everything else. And then that day I went to the store, an AT&T store, and got a phone. Problem was, if you buy a phone online from these phone companies and you have a problem, you can't take it to the store, at least with AT&T. If you have a problem with a phone that you bought online, they will not help you at any store. They won't touch you. They won't touch you. They won't talk to you. They won't deal with it at all. At least that's how it was with AT&T. The people in the store said, we can't touch this at all. You bought the phone online. We can't have anything to do with it. You have to deal with the online team. Oh, wow, now I'm getting the storage space is low warning on the camera, huh? So I'm going to have to wrap this up, but I'll talk about that some more. All because T-Mobile's giving me a hassle today and gaslighting me. AT&T fixed the problem with the phone. I got a new phone at the store. And then and I did have a couple of problems with it. And I was able to take care of the problems at the store. Um, the phone got, well, I was able to do that online or with a phone call actually, but there was a problem with the connection speed on the phone. It ended up being a tower was down, but the store tried to help me because I couldn't figure out what was going on. And but yeah, always buy your cell phones at the store. That I'll never do. And I'm not the first person to say this. I know other people who have bought phones online from the T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon website and then had a problem with the phone and the stores won't do a fucking thing to help you. They won't even look up your account. They'll ask you, "Did you buy it online?" You got to deal with them. You can't deal with us. So, I don't know why. I don't Are all these stores a fucking franchise or something with a franchise owner owns? Maybe that's the case. I don't know. But if you don't buy the phone in a store and you buy it online, the people at the store won't give you the time of day. They won't help you in any way. But if you buy it at the store, you can get help online or you can go to the store to get help. If it gets down to the point where you can't get any help online because they're too incompetent or whatever, you can go in the store and they'll help you. And I'm telling you, this is not from my own experience alone. This is from experience of multiple people that have told me the same thing. They bought their phone online, had a problem with it. The company that they tried to take it to the store that was down the road, and because they couldn't get anywhere online, they tried to take it to the store to see if they could get it replaced at the store, and the store was like, "You bought it online, we can't do anything." But if you buy it in the store and you have a problem and it's a warranty issue and you can take it into the store, they can verify that, yeah, this phone's broken, it's not working, we'll give you a new one. They'll give you a new one right on the spot. If it's if it's within the warranty period or whatever, if it's one of those extended warranty replacements, you'd basically make a phone call or fill out a form online to get your new phone shipped to you. But if it's like a legitimate, like 30-day warranty, like just bought the phone kind of an issue, and the phone is actually defective, the store will replace it right on the spot for you. It's happened to me. But if you buy it online and you have a problem, like you buy it online and there's a problem right out of the box, like I was talking to you about, and then you get absolutely nowhere online talking to the people, if you try to take it to the store, they'll be like, "No, we can't help you. Fuck off." So, I don't know if that's the case anymore, but these companies treat you like garbage because they know you've got nowhere else to go. And if you're doing like the Straight Talk, the Cricket, or any of these other, 2-bit ass clown poor people internet service or, phone service providers, those are all just brand names from the major carriers. The three they're all on those they're owned by the Walmart. The Straight Talk is owned by, I don't know which one, it might be AT&T, I don't know, you can look this up. All of those secondary poor people prepaid ghetto phone plans are all under one of those three carriers. Each of the three carriers has their own poor people ghetto phone plan. But it's the same network, it's the same shit. It might have a different customer service number so that when the person answers, they can say, "Hello, thank you for calling Straight Talk," instead of, "Hello, thank you for calling on T-Mobile," right? So, but it's all the same shit. And with that, I'm going to let you go because this phone's going to die and it's giving me a low space warning so I don't have to cut off in the middle of a sentence. Peace out. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Adam. It is Friday night. It's May 2nd. I don't know when you're watching this. It's just part of my strategic. I have like 3 different reasons for doing it, but a big reason is because if this slumlord is watching these videos, which I don't know if he is or not, whatever my plans are for riding out this month, It's going to be... It's the word. For whatever my plans are to ride out the rest of this month, would, it's already going to be done by the time this video comes out, or in the works. I'm so burned out this week. I didn't get anything done, man. Anything important. I'm barely getting caught up with chores. The financial situation has improved. I really, a lot of the things I did today were... That 60-mile bike ride threw me off, along with something else went down this week in regards to this crazy-ass place and the situation I'm in. And, but I don't want to... It gave me It still is giving me a ball of nerves, because I feel like something's just not right. And I don't want to... I'll talk about it someday when I'm not here. I did my civic duty and what I have to do in the situation. There's more to it than that. This shit is so crazy. It's so crazy. But like I said, it's kind of unfounded, and I don't know if what I think could be true is true, but it could be. But I don't think it is. Especially now, after some... I'm going to leave it there for now. But that took me... I'm so burned out that I'm physically aching. Like, I am sore and tired and achy from everything. So let's talk about the apartment hunt. I'm down to one in the bag. The two that I looked at on Tuesday, the 60-mile bike ride, I wanted to try and make it work. I really did. And so I dug into... So I thought, okay, maybe I'll call the internet provider that they listed as the provider of internet for this place. And because yesterday when I called, they were rude. They were not helpful. They didn't answer... It was like, whoa, I can't deal with this hillbilly backwoods internet bullshit. But I thought, maybe I'll give it one more chance. That was a fucking mistake. Holy crap. So I call the company. And they're like, okay, they're asking me... Oh my God. I can't even, like... This phone call is so off the rails. I call the internet company, and this, and then it takes me into, like, push 1 for this and 2 for that and all that. And all of a sudden this robot, this automated voice comes on and says, you qualify for a free gift today. You can qualify for a free medical bracelet. I've fallen and I can't get up. The old lady, help, I've fallen and I can't get up. And, like, I'm like, they're like, press 1 if you're interested, press 2 if you just want to... I'm like, 2! And so a person answers the phone, and I'm like, okay, thank you for... I'm like, I'm interested in information about internet availability at this address. And they're like, okay, but first I wanted to let you know that you qualify for a free Life Alert bracelet. And I'm like, what in the fuck does this have to do with getting internet hooked up? And I'm like sitting here, I'm like, hello, and then I think it was like some pre-recorded AI bot. And so I told it to go fuck itself. I hung up the phone and I'm like, we're done. Done. If that's what imagine if your internet goes down or something goes wrong with it and you call the fucking internet provider and they're trying to sell you a fucking Life Alert bracelet and you can't even get through to talk to a fucking person about your internet being down. What in the fuck? I think the company was called Consolidated Communications or Consolidated something or other. It was just some 2-bit ass clown fly by night internet provider. And so I did some more homework. People don't like them. And then I found out, I did some Google searches and some research. They are DSL provider, which is worse than a cable modem. A cable modem from your cable company, Comcast, Xfinity, Spectrum. There's a Time Warner. There's a bunch of different companies that offer this stuff, and that's like the actual coax cable that comes into your house that would deliver cable TV and all that kind of stuff. It's cable-based internet. That's decent. The speeds are fine. You'll have problems from time to time when it goes down or whatever, but that's generally pretty reliable. I had Armstrong at the house I lived in Amish country, and it was a monopoly. It was the only option you could get. And they were, like maybe once every 3 months they'd have an outage, and you'd have to wait for them to come back online. Once or twice it would be a few hours, but for the most part it was good. DSL is terrible. It's bad. It's basically over. It's basically the fastest internet you can get with traditional phone lines. But how it works is it's 2 phone lines, and it's a straight data connection. It's faster than what a traditional modem would be, but it's not fast. They told me 50 megabits per second over the phone. But all the people that are complaining about this company say that the speed is god-awful slow. It goes down all the time. It's not reliable. And there's no customer service to speak of when something goes wrong. Done. Can't do it. I can't have... This is the second time I've gone on a long-ass bike ride just to find out I can't get internet at the place I'm trying to move. There were a lot of other good things. I really wanted to make this work financially. I just keep wondering, I'm looking at the phone number I dialed compared to the phone number on their website, and I'm like, it is the same number. I'm like, I didn't misdial. And all it was they're trying to sell me a Life Alert bracelet. I'm like, what the fuck does this have to do with signing up for internet? And there's this thing on their website saying fiber optic coming soon, but they can't tell you when. And the people on it's just too much hillbilly ass clown fucking Hazard County bullshit to be. I bet the fucking Dukes of Hazzard could get better internet wherever the fuck they were than this place. That's all I'm gonna say. Uncle Jesse probably had a faster internet connection than these 2-bit ass clowns can hook up at your house. I can't do it. My whole life, my livelihood revolves around it being online. So that would have been a deal breaker. And when I moved out to that house in Amish country, that was the first thing I had to find out. Before I even met with the landlords to give them the money, the down payment, and the moving costs, it was like, because I went up there on January 2nd that year. I've told this story more than once, how the place fell into my lap and everything. But I had to call and confirm that I could get good internet there and actually set up, or like at least talk to them over the phone and ask what it was, what are the speeds, do my own homework. And I was like, okay, I feel confident here that this will work. The problem with Starlink at both of these, there's 2 problems with Starlink. First of all, both of these places had significant tree cover, and tree cover is the enemy of a satellite dish. So you need a clear view of the sky for Starlink to work, and tree cover is not going to work. You might be able to get a signal, but it's going to be blocked by the trees, the wind. It's all going to be clouds, wind, interference. It's going to be a nightmare. It's going to be constantly giving you problems. And on top of that, it costs about $400 just to get in the door with Starlink. You have to buy the equipment. You have to buy the satellite dish. You have to buy all the stuff. You buy it. You don't get they don't just give it to you. You have to pay for all of that. You have to buy the equipment. Now they have $100 congestion fee. So you have to pay $100 for your first month congestion fee, and then the 120 or whatever it is per month subscription fee, and you have to pay all this up front. It's over 400 and something, closing in on $500 just to get started. Then you got to hook all the shit up yourself. And if you're in a rental unit, and where are you going to put the fucking antenna? How are you going to mount the thing to the roof of your house? How are you going to... It's just a whole big fucking batch of what the fuck. And you still might not have internet at the end of the day. So no, I'm not... Starlink would be alright if I had a clear view of the sky. I could consider it. But not some fucking place in the middle of the woods covered in trees. You know, the clouds are going to be bad enough when on a cloudy day like today we had some really bad storms coming through. I would bet for sure the cloud cover was so thick here today that the internet would go down if I had Starlink. So it's out. I had to take those 2 places off the table. That's 3 places I've had to take off the table because of not being able to get internet. And these 2 places are in civilization. They're not way out there. There's anybody who knows the area of Houston, it's right outside of Conroe. It was like it's 4 miles from downtown Conroe, and I can't get internet. Like, that doesn't even make any fucking sense. So, whatever, I crossed it off. The other place, the first place that I looked at on this search, it was like maybe 2 or 3 days after the landlord threatened me, I was already starting to look at places, and I went and looked at this one place, and when I did my homework, AT&T can install fiber optic, Comcast can install their Xfinity cable-based internet. The T-Mobile router that I use right now, I can plug and play and take it there, so I can have my current internet when I move, and it's the address is in their service area to where they guarantee, quote unquote, guarantee it'll work. That doesn't mean it'll work, but they'll say it'll work. So I should be able to plug and play if I were to take that spot. The only thing about that spot is it doesn't have any washer and dryer, or it doesn't have any hookups. So the only thing I would be able to do is, like on Amazon, they have these portable washing machines that are like the size for an RV. You can do a small load of laundry. The one that I've seen one in use before. There's one side will have an agitator, the other side will have a spin bucket. So, and you fill the thing up with water using your shower head. You just fill it up with water when you want to wash your clothes. And it'll, like, you put your laundry soap in, whatever, you run it, has a cycle to wash, and then you take all the clothes from one side to the other and put them in this thing, and the bucket spins, and it's dry, it spin cycles them. And they're about $200, and you can either hook up the hoses to you can make some sort of way to make it work, but you can also, like, it's kind of like for an RV or whatever, but you can also put it in a shower stall or a bathtub and just set it there. That's what this person was doing when I watched one being used. Just put it in the shower stall and let all the water drain right down the shower drain, and use the shower handle, the shower head or whatever to fill it up with. And then they make these 110 volt standard power outlet dryers, and they're big enough for that many clothes. The only drawback, the reviews will say that it takes a while for the thing to warm up, but once it does a good job. And they're about maybe 2 feet by 2 feet, maybe like 3 feet by 3 feet, 12, 36 by 36. I don't know. They're small but big enough for I could basically do clothes like that without having to fucking scrub like I'm on Little House on the Prairie with some sort of washboard sitting by my bathtub like I'm at the Jordan River washing all my garments in the river. You know what I mean? Like they used to do back in the old days. So my options would either be do my laundry by hand like I'm in prison, like I would have to do shit in prison, or get one of those apartment size washer and dryer things and see how that goes, or go to the laundromat that's 2 miles away. And the 2 mile away laundromat could work out in a pinch. Like, what if I just get lazy and I have so many clothes that it'll take me 2 days to use the apartment size thing I buy? Fine, go down to the laundromat, get it done in one shot, bring it home. I don't know. So I don't know. But I've only got one place in the bag right now. It's still available. But there's some other things I don't like about it. There's a number of things I don't like about it. I don't want to get in a situation like I'm in right now. I think this place is way better than where I'm at right now. And based on what the landlord wants to charge for me to be in this place, I wouldn't be spending much more to be in that place or any of these other places. All these other places are about the same price as what this dickwad wants to charge for this fucking piece of shit dump that I'm in right now. So I may as well upgrade if I'm going to have to pay him more. But I'm done. I'm getting out of here. I'm just going to keep an eye on that. All the places I've looked at are still available. All of them. But like I said, 3 out of the 4 are bunk on the internet, and that's not going to work. I can't go. And yeah, these 2-bit ass clown fly-by-night internet providers, I can't deal with that. I can't deal with unreliable internet that goes down all the time with no customer service in a monopoly where there's nobody else to get it from. At least down the road from where, like I said, I looked into different companies and I've got 3 different options, one of which is what I currently use. I could take it with me and get... Day one, my internet should not even skip a beat. I should just be able to use it right out of the box. Maybe it'll work better. Maybe the fact that the place has more windows and bigger windows, I could mount the thing right in a window and possibly get better reception and a better service. But I'm not, I could make a call tomorrow and just stake a claim, but there's 2 other places in the mix that I'm trying to get a viewing at. One, at the last video I talked about, I reached out to the owner, the ad. I got a response back saying I'll give you a call tomorrow. Never got a call. So I messaged back and I said I'm still interested in this, if it's still available. And then I get a curt 2-word answer, still available. Like, okay, I gave you my contact info, email, phone. Contact me. I can't contact you. These people don't put contact info in their fucking ad. No phone number, no email address, no way to contact. So I'm like, here's my contact info. Contact me. Still available. Okay. So if this person's going to flake out, and I judge people harshly because the guy I met on Tuesday, I already had a negative opinion about him. But when I met him in person, he was a totally, I was like, this is not... There were things that bothered me, but it's a landlord. There's always going to be something that you don't like. When you're renting a property from somebody, you're always going to not like something about them. Doesn't mean they're a bad landlord. It just... My spidey sense is on the edge. And I'm picking up on the smallest little things and turning them into big things. One little personality quirk in a text message back and forth, and I'm like, this guy's going to be a fucking asshole, but he wasn't. It was a really good experience on Tuesday, and I really wanted to do it. But I told the guy, I said, look, if I can't verify that I can get solid internet here, I'm not going to be able to do it as much as I want to. Because I would do it right now. I would shake hands on it and be like, I'll get you the money. We'll get this ball rolling. But I need to verify the internet. And when I tried to verify the internet, that turned into a total shit show. So, it's no good. It's twice. I can't believe it. Fourth biggest city in the fucking United States, and you can't get fucking internet. I fucking hate this place, man. I truly do hate Houston. This place fucking sucks. I'm just saying, like, it's not that. I'm gonna drop it because I'm just gonna go down this road of I'm not. Every time I turn around, Houston gives me another reason to hate this fucking place, and I'm not finding any reason to like it other than the weather's better than up north. The weather. One thing. I guess I had a good taco here. I had a couple of good tacos. That's it. And I can get good Mexican food in fucking New York State. I can get good Mexican food in Pittsburgh. So, I mean, I know it's not as legit, but I'm just saying, like, that's not a reason to, I don't know, Houston's not giving me any reason to like living here, other than winter was short. And you got lots of 70 and 75 degree days in the middle of winter, and here and there it would be 40, 30, 20, off and on, but for the most part it was warm. Warmer. I mean, beat the shit out of living in Jamestown, New York all winter, hands down. Not even close. That's not even a contest. There were some cold bike rides, but Jamestown, I don't even know. How would I have even rode my bike in I don't even know, man. That would have been a nightmare. That would have been an absolute nightmare if I had to winter up there. That would have been, oh my God, that would have been so horrible. But if I had been able to get a job up there, I could have afforded a car. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to, like, speculate and go into that. But Houston is not giving me any reason to like living here. It just isn't. It's just every day I get another reason to hate this place and no reason to like it. I'm so sick of Houston right now. I don't know. I mean, this is how I used to feel about Pittsburgh for a long time, and then it grew on me and I loved it. So maybe something will change. I think a big part of it is I got to find a stable place to live that's not a fucking shithole that's falling apart with a stupid ass slumlord that I'm waiting for this fucking water heater to break. So far I've still got hot water. In spite of the fucking rainstorms that are happening, but the thing, the water heater's just out in the open outside, getting rained on and getting the elements pouring down on it. So I don't know if that's going to make it stop working. I don't fucking know if you're supposed to just leave a hot water heater outside, uncovered and unprotected from the elements. I don't give a fuck anymore. It's not my problem until the hot water stops. And then it's my problem. And hopefully it breaks when I'm gone. Because I'm so over this fucking piece of shit place. And there's so many fucking other things. There's so much more to tell. So much more to tell. It's going to be a 2-hour video when I tell you the whole thing about this place. Holy shit. I might do a nice fancy edited video to go over the whole thing. But, then you'll understand how my mind just went right down the toilet on that day. Almost tomorrow it'll be 1 month to the day. April 3rd, it'll be May 3rd. May 17th is the anniversary of being homeless. Maybe on May 17th I'll be signing a lease for a great place that I'm going to be moving into in the next 2 weeks. And like maybe instead of the anniversary of being homeless being a bad thing, maybe the anniversary of becoming homeless becomes the day where everything starts to fall into place and I get out of this fucking dump. That's what I hope. That's what I'm hoping for. Trying to keep my optimism up. So, but there are 2 places I'm trying to get looked at. One of them I think I've crossed off. I gave the one, I was already going to write it off because she's the property manager, owner, whatever it is being real flaky about it. And I'm about sick of going back and forth on Facebook Messenger without answering any questions or scheduling a viewing. It's not far away. It's like 7 miles away from where I am right now. So it wouldn't be a big deal to go down there. That's 7 miles on a bike, 14 miles. That's like that's like half an hour to get there, half an hour to come home. It would be I'd be gone for an hour and a half. No big deal there. That's not gonna be a ball buster that wrecks me for 2 days, like a 60-mile out and back did. Um, that was a rough. This is a rough week. I knew it would be. I have to prepare. Hopefully, but I'm looking to. I want to sign a 1 year lease, nothing less. 1 year. Commit. This is my fucking home. I can spend one whole fucking year in one place without having to pack and move 5 times in a fucking year. I can't do that again. I cannot fucking do it. I don't have a lot of stuff to move, but this is too much. I can't fucking pack up and start over again 5 fucking times in a year. I can't. I'm not doing this again. I won't do it again. Like, I don't know what'll happen. I don't know what drastic measures I will take if this shit doesn't start to go better. But I'm not living like this for another year. I'm not. Um the other place, there was another place, I'm going to give it a couple of days. And I do understand that on these listings, these Facebook listings, these Craigslist, wherever it is that you find a place, um, they do get a lot of messages. They do get a lot of responses. So just because I reached out and said, hey, I'm interested, I'd like to set up an appointment, I'd like to take a look at the place, whatever I say, there's a good chance you'll never hear a word back. And why? Because they got 50 people interested in the place. They got 50 messages for the ad in 2 days. You know what I'm saying? So you're number 46 out of 50, you're number 22 out of 50, whatever. They're going down the list, and maybe they're filtering it by, I try to be really professional and come across as, I use polite words, and I try to show that I have a vocabulary, and I ain't gonna be looking up in that bitch. I'm very interested in taking a look at the apartment that you have listed. Tentatively, I could come and take a look at it any day between Tuesday and Friday of next week. I'll say things very professionally, because that then the landlord sees that and goes, there's someone articulate that looks like he would be a good tenant, and it kind of goes from there. I know that the wording that I use and the professionalism that I put into a message to a landlord is part of the reason why they do get back to me, and they probably skip over a bunch of other applicants or a bunch of people who sent them a message. And so there's one that I'm really interested in taking a look at, and it's right down the road. It's probably, I would say it's no more than 3 miles away from where I am right now, maybe 4 at the most. Possibly 3 miles closer to the bakery. I know generally where it is, but they didn't put a house number on it, which is fine. I could probably ride my bike down the road and find the place. Maybe. It might not be on the road that they say it's on. It might be off of that road. But either way, it doesn't matter. It looked like a really cool option, and all the utilities were included. And so it would be, turnkey, just move in and be done. And it would probably be in a good place to get all kinds of good internet options, including my home Wi-Fi from T-Mobile would probably plug and play there. So I'm hoping that I get a response on that one, and I will go out of my way to go look at that one, because it looks like a winner. It looks like a place that I could be comfortable for a year and be happy at for a year, but not 100%. Like, I would have to get a response from the message And I'm tomorrow at some point, if I don't hear back, Sunday morning, because tomorrow I work at the bakery, but Sunday, if I don't hear back from the person when I wake up, when I sit down at my computer on Sunday, that'll be the first thing I do is go back to that ad. And if it's still listed as available, I'm going to put in another message saying, I'm really interested in taking a look at this place. I could come and look at it Tuesday. I'm just not available tomorrow. I'll make it be like, I could come out anytime you're available. I could do it today, and I would do it. I would drop everything I'm doing on Sunday and go look at this place, because it does have that. It looks like a winner, and it, like, convenience wise, it checks off a lot of boxes. I think I talked about this in another one. It was basically a converted garage, but it's a 2-story garage. 2 big bay doors that open up with a garage door opener to a big open space, the size bigger than a 2-car garage, and that's basically a combo kitchen. There's a bathroom off to the side, a big bathroom with a shower. There's what else is it? There's the big open space, kitchen area, the bathroom. There's something else in that room I can't think of. There's like a bar area. And it's just a big, wide open space. You could do so much. You could put pool tables in this thing. You could put a pool table and a ping pong table and have couches everywhere and a lounge for your, like, where you watch TV. And you could just have this whole big thing. I could have a bicycle shop in the other corner. Like, you could really, like, turn this into something really freaking cool. And on the second, then there's a second floor with, like, I could see it was like a big carpeted bedroom or a big carpeted room and another bathroom off to the side. And I don't know what else would be at the top of the stairs, but that's what it shows on the picture. Like, the pictures only show so much. So that really, like, impressed me in terms of the garage door thing was kind of cool because you could, like, and the way that the floor was the kind of floor that I could just work on my bicycles right there. I could have a permanent workspace for my bicycles right there. Like, this place is so big you could drive your car right into the apartment and park. It's like a luxury. It has that feel of one of those luxury garages where people pull in their Lamborghinis and their Ferraris, but the garage is also like an apartment, and there's like a loft up above. You go up a set of stairs and there's a whole apartment in there, and like pool tables and all that kind of shit. And maybe you do work on your Ferrari or your Lamborghini or whatever in there, and like some people do, but it's more like your storage, your luxury garage for your exotic cars and that kind of shit. It had that kind of a feel to it. It just had that look to it. And I'm like, this would be a cool single guy bachelor pad kind of a setup. And, I could get myself a car, all utilities included. My bills would be, I won't have any unexpected bills. Sign a 1-year lease, hopefully, and just do it. Like, if they want to go month to month, that might be a problem because then they can just kick you out. I really want to find a place where I'm not going to be at risk of being thrown out and have to scramble and move after 2 months. So that's a factor. But anyway, this was on the list. It was a good option, but I'm waiting to hear back. The other place, the flaky one, it used to be some sort of hotel, and they're turning it into apartments, and it had a really cool, like, it had laundry on site, it has a lounge, it has a movie theater, like, it has some of these quirky things for the tenants, common areas that were kind of cool. The rooms were kind of small. They were big hotel rooms, but small apartment. And the one in the photograph is completely furnished, and so I'm looking for a place that's not furnished. I want my own shit in there. So that's what I need this woman to call me for, or to contact me, because I've got questions. It's only 7 miles away, but I don't want to go look at it. If internet's included in the rent, utilities are included in the rent, And, but once again, is the internet going to be shit? Can I get my own internet, or do I got to use like the T-Mobile Wi-Fi bullshit? You know, like, too many unanswered questions. From now on, I'm not going to look at a place if I have too many unanswered questions. I need to know things before I go. Not wasting another 60-mile bicycle ride for, to find out there's no internet or some bullshit like that I could have found out before I wasted my time. That's too much time to waste for that. As much as I want that place, as much as I wanted that place would have been really cool. It would have been really, really cool. Very unique, very cool, very peaceful. Totally the opposite of where I am right now. Like the night and day opposites. Tranquility would have been insane there. Oh, it would have been so beautiful. But without internet, it's pointless. It's pointless. So I just have to write that one off and pretend I never even did that the other day. I just went out on a 60-mile ride for fitness and for fun, I guess, because it didn't accomplish anything else. And then you never know what's going to pop up between now and 2 more, but I'm giving it 2 more weeks. If I don't find a place by the 15th and that one is still available, I'm going to bounce on it. I'm going to take it. I'm going to talk to the landlord. I'll be like, I'll come down. How do you want to get paid? Nobody will take a personal check. They all want... Now, some of them will do electronic transfers. Zelle is one that they like. So I think my bank supports that. I don't have the ability to fucking do this shit with my phone that I currently use. I can't use Cash App. I can't use Venmo. I can't use any of those apps. I can't download the apps for one. I can download my bank. The bank in Houston here has an app I can use on this phone. But there's another bank account I have that I can't download the app to this phone. It doesn't work. All because I use Graphene OS. And I can't. I could probably reinstall Android onto this phone and wipe out Graphene and just start over with a stock Android. But I gotta ask my friend who gave me this phone, because if I factory reset the phone, will it reinstall Android and put it all back? Or will it just will it screw everything up and brick the phone? So I gotta talk to him, and honestly, it's not something I have time for in the next month. That's an undertaking. It's too much work. And so I don't know. Like, there's just so many things that are up in the air right now, and I wanted to talk about something completely different, to be honest, and then I got on the tangent of this apartment search and starting to share the details of it. Like, by the time so today is May 2nd. I just queued up a bunch of videos to cover from here till May 9th. And I've got 2 batches of videos sitting on my hard drive that haven't been uploaded to YouTube yet. So I can probably get another week's worth of videos out of those before you're even watching this. So it might be May 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It might be May 16th by the time you're watching this video, to be honest. It could be later than that. If you get to the point where you're watching this video and you're like, man, what's going on with Adam? It's 2 weeks after the video I'm watching. 2 weeks has gone by. What's he doing? Instead of getting the real-time update. There might come a day around June 1st. If I move into a new place to live, I'm just going to flip the switch on all of those videos at once and just go boom, 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 and just turn them all live and then put out an update saying, hey, I moved. You can watch all the other videos if you want to see what happened and you want to get caught up and see the whole story. But otherwise, I'm going back to like real-time updates because I'm in a new place and I don't have to fucking do this retarded ass thing anymore because I want to talk about what's going on, but I don't want to give away my plans in great detail. And if I'm probably making a decision by the 15th, and if all the places that I've looked at are off the table because they've been snatched up, or one reason or another they're just no good and they're not viable, then I'm going to have to figure something out. But generally speaking, I think I'm going to be in good shape. I think something's going to happen. And financially, I just dropped $183 on Amazon to get all the bicycle stuff out of the way. New chain rings for the Red Rocket, a new cassette for the Red Rocket, a new chain for the Red Rocket, complete overhaul on the drivetrain. My chain is stretched out, and I don't even want to take a chance that the cogs and chain rings. I'll keep the cassette, and I'll keep the chain rings, I'll keep the cassette in a box of spare parts, just in case in a pinch, it might come in handy. Or, you know what I mean? Like, in a pinch, maybe these parts are still good. So I'm not going to just throw them away. The chain is gone. I'm throwing away the chain. I'll probably keep the quick link, but I'll put the quick link in a spare parts bottle because it's probably an old stretched out quick link, and I've got the chain will come with a master link, number one, and number two, I have spare master links that are brand new, so I don't got to worry about that. So I'm getting a new chain rings, new cogs on the rear wheel. I just replaced the derailleur pulleys. They're probably, I don't know how many miles, they got less than 1,000 miles on them. So even with the worn out chain and whatnot, there's hardly any wear on those. So those will be in good shape. So the entire drivetrain, everything that the chain touches, is going to be brand new on that bike. It'll take a couple hours to do all the work and give it a quick tune-up and all that, but it shouldn't be too bad. I am going to have to do bicycle maintenance day. And then on the Silver Bullet, I've already got 2 water bottle cages. Only one of them is going to work. I forgot that the front derailleur clamps on in between the 2 bottle cage bolts on the seat tube. So I would either have to use washers to pull the water bottle cage away from the seat tube, and I think it's going to look like shit, and that's more of like a race bike. I'm just going to use 1 bottle cage, and I'm going to have a spare bottle cage. On the Red Rocket, it's getting, the whole drivetrain's getting replaced. On the Silver Bullet, like I said, I already have bottle cages, so I've got a spare bottle cage. I might even put the brand new ones on the Red Rocket and take one of those off the Red Rocket and put it on the Silver Bullet. I'm not sure yet. But either way, I'm getting brand new water bottle cage, and I bought a seat post. The seat post on the Red Rocket is a beat up old suspension seat post that the rubber elastomer inside the seat post is all rock hard, and it's probably 20 years old, and it's lost all of its elasticity, so it doesn't work. But the seat goes like this. It doesn't really affect it when you're riding it. It feels like a normal bike. It doesn't bother me when I'm riding it. But it's something that could cause a problem or break, or something could go wrong during a bike ride, and having a broken seat is not something I want to deal with. So I bit the bullet and I bought a seat post. I bought a nice one because it's a nice bike. I want to make sure that I buy parts that are commensurate with the level of bicycle that it is. So it's going to be a really nice addition to that bike. The bike doesn't need anything else except for maybe handlebar tape. And I'll do that some other day. It's not something I want to get into this weekend. And it's not going to be this weekend because the parts won't even be here. And I also got spare inner tubes, a pack of 2 of those, I believe, because I've got a bunch of inner tubes that need patched, and I might patch some of them on bicycle maintenance day, and then I'll fold up the patched tubes and use those as my spares in my backpack But normally I carry a brand new inner tube with me, and then when I have a flat tire, I put the new inner tube in, I take the old one out, and then I take the old ones and I just put them away for patching. So if I could sit here for an hour and patch 3 or 4 inner tubes, I'll use the patched ones as my spares in my backpack for when I get a flat tire, because a patched, as long as you do it correctly, a patched inner tube is just as good as a regular a brand new one. They're fine. The patch, the contact cement, that if you get the rubber style patches and with the contact cement, that's a permanent bond. As long as you do it correctly and you take your time and you do it with care, especially at home, when you have a controlled environment to do it at home. I have a sink that I can fill with water, and I can put the inner tube, I can blow up air into it, and I can see exactly where the holes are and how big the holes are that need patched. And so I can do it in a controlled space, and I can patch all of the inner tubes that I have. I could have like 4 or 5 spare inner tubes that are patched, but they're rolled up and they're tight, they're wound and they're ready to go, and I'll keep those. And then I won't have to buy inner tubes for a long time. I'll have 2 brand new inner tubes, maybe 3 or 4 brand new inner tubes, and I'll have a whole bunch of patched ones, and I'll just take the patched ones with me as spares. Until, if I have to patch a tube twice, then I might think about not using it again. Or what I would do is, at home, I might throw a patched tube in the bicycle and put a brand new one as a spare. But if I'm going on a long enough ride, I might put a brand new one in the bag. Or maybe I take a brand new one with me and I take a patched one with me, and I have 2 spares in the backpack instead of 1 spare. That way, if I get 2 flat tires on the same ride, I can throw the patched one in as the replacement, and then if that one goes bad and I get another flat, I can throw another one. So there's a lot of options. Having a lot of extra inner tubes will give me a lot of options. And if you buy them online, they're not that expensive. So I've got inner tubes coming, and I've got CO2 cartridges coming, because I'm down to like 2 or 3 of those. And so I bought I think I bought a 6-pack of those. And at the rate that I'm using them, that's several months. The last time I bought CO2 cartridges was back in like October, and here it's May, and I've used maybe 3 or 4 since October. So that's like, November, December, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. That's like 8 CO2 cartridges a year at the pace I'm going. So it's not a big deal. But I bought all of this stuff, $185, give or take. And so that's cutting into my budget, and I got to go grocery shopping. And so, but the bicycles, it's like, it's like if you have a car, if you have a problem with your car that is going to cost a couple $100 to fix, what do? Do you fix it now, or do you wait until that costs $1,000 to fix and your car's in the shop for 2 weeks instead of your car being in the shop for a day or 2? So when all the parts come, if I get the seat post but I don't get the other parts, the silver bullet's going to go on the repair stand. It's going to get a wipe down, a lubrication, quick tune-up. And I'll put the water bottle cage on, which takes 5 minutes, and the seat post swap, which doesn't take a lot of time, but then I'm going to have to go through a period of adjusting the seat to make sure, it's not going to be, I'm going to have to ride the bike a few times and take an Allen wrench with me, which I already do, but I'm going to have to get off the bike here and there and adjust the seat height and the seat fore and aft position and the angle. And when you change your seat post, especially when you're putting a brand new one on, you can do your best to get the seat in the right position, but it takes adjustment. It takes a handful of rides before you get everything exactly where it should be. So, but it'll get done. That could be as soon as I mean, I don't remember when the seat post is supposed to come, but if that comes tomorrow or Sunday, I might do that on Sunday. That way I don't have to do it the following week. And if all the rest of the parts appear by the cassette is going to take the longest. It said 8 to 12 days. But if it comes in 8 days, if it comes in time to have bicycle maintenance day a week from this Sunday, then a week from this Sunday, I'm going to be doing bicycle maintenance and making sure that the Red Rocket is dialed in and clean and tuned up and everything works and the drivetrain is all brand new and everything works the way it's supposed to and everything's perfect and, you know, and then it'll take a couple of rides before I have confidence that everything is good and ready to go. I'm buying chain rings that aren't Shimano. They're aftermarket. They get decent reviews for the old. They're when used in combination with older drivetrain sets like a Shimano 8-speed. So my setup on the Red Rocket is a Shimano 8-speed rear with a double chain ring in the front. I used to have a triple crank set up front, but it was too finicky and it was too hard to get the shifting to work correctly. So I switched to a double chain ring. My Silver Bullet has a triple chain ring, and it works perfect. It's flawless. But it's newer stuff, and I believe that's a 9-speed in the rear. I can't remember. It's either a 9 or a 10-speed in the rear. So it's like 10 times 3, that's 30 gears. If it's a 10, if it's 9-speed in the rear, it might be 9. I can't remember. If it's 9-speed, it would be 27 total gears. The Red Rocket has 8 in the back, 2 in the front, so that's 16. But some of the gear ratios are generally the same. But I find that the Red Rocket's fine. I don't need it. I don't need that. I do just fine with it. I might have gone a little bit bigger on the smaller chain ring, but I don't remember what the small chain ring is, the one that I have on the bike right now. I believe I currently have a 52 tooth and a 42 tooth on the front. But I just ordered what felt right. I didn't really think about it too much. I just was like 52, 42, that's what I ordered. And then for the back, I ordered an 11 to 32. So it has a wide range, and I have a mountain bike derailleur on the back with a long cage. So that will accommodate a very wide range of gearing. So I can go from big to small. I can have a pretty wide range of gears in the back, and the derailleur will be fine with it. So I'm kind of like, I'm looking forward to having fresh chain, fresh cogs, fresh everything on the drivetrain. I just replaced the cables a few weeks ago. I'm ready to feel what that bike feels like if everything's perfect and brand new. The shifting has been a little bit goofy for a long time, and I have a feeling it's because my chain is too short, and the current chain being stretched out and just having it's not a huge deal. I just went on a 60-mile ride and had pretty much no issues. A couple of crummy shifts here and there, and some of that's cable tension, but it's an old bike, so it's not going to be perfect all the time. And in order for it to be perfect on every ride, I would have to put it in the work stand almost every time I ride it and just tweak it and dial it in and make it perfect and lubricate the chain all the time and just keep up with the maintenance on a hyper level. But that one apartment that I'm thinking about, if I can get the landlord to respond to me and let me go look at it, the fact that it's basically a glorified, glamorous, a luxury garage, that would lend itself perfect as a bike shop. Like, that would be freaking dope. So I don't know. I'm gonna see what happens. I'm gonna let you guys go. Peace out. I'm gonna I just gotta relax for the night. I got some chores. I'm trying to get caught up on everything. Now that I have hot water, it's getting a little better. There's a bunch of comments, some douchey ones, troll comments, and some comments from people I like. I want to respond to a bunch of them, but it might be better to sit in front of my computer and do it. I've got some, of course, I've got some attitude to throw at people, but I do have some other stories to tell based on comments that I got about the legal system and how people in the legal system get, like, some of the games that the prosecutors and the legal system and the judges and the lawyers play to basically screw you when you get caught up in the system. And so I think that might, and it all kind of came to memory because of a couple of comments that were left. And so I could definitely get into some of that when I'm, maybe if I take a few minutes and take some notes or just jot down some thoughts about it, and just read the comments that inspired whatever it is I'm going to say. But it's easier to do when I'm sitting in front of a computer. So I'm going to let this video be what it is. I don't know what day it's coming out. It's just an update. But a lot of people are leaving comments with regard to, like, stop sitting around and bitching and do something about your situation. And the whole point is I've been doing something about it since the day this shit started, especially like on April 3rd, I started looking for a new place to live the day that motherfucker threatened me. Like within an hour I was calling, or within an hour I was already texting landlords and responding to ads because I wasn't going to allow this guy to do what he was doing. And I just paid for one more month's rent. I paid the rate according to the lease. I haven't heard a word about it. He did offer to extend the current price until June 1st. So he's going to be expecting on June 1st that I start paying him $200 more. Well, I can pay $200 more and go get a place that's not a fucking dump. And so I'm going to do that. And so, but it's going to take, like I said, it's going to take a little bit of work and some good luck from above. So I'll let you all go and I'll give you the update. I'll probably talk to you tomorrow at some point. Probably on my way home from the bakery. Peace.